But to your point, you think the map pool favors Furia. The people seem to be very high on DZ's supply, Jesse.
I mean, they fought the beast and they survived.
Cut me off. I was going to say 55-45, and then you cut me off.
I mean, I think DarkZero have earned that after what they did in the first series.
Have earned the right for you to cut me off on the broadcast.
We'll jump right into the operator bans for Chalet.
I hate when you ignore me.
The first map of this series chosen by Furia. Both these teams have played quite a bit of Chalet so far at the event. We'd expect probably, I could see a Blitz from Furia. They'll go Grim instead. Wow, they've been permabanning Blitz on this map for a very long time. A lot of teams have banned Blitz against DZ on this map. So a bit surprised not to see it off the board. DarkZero, for their fact, going by history, they could ban the Deimos here. I think they have a couple options based on what they've been banning historically on this map. DZ's bans have been very unpredictable so far this event, and they'll keep us on our toes. A Flores ban in 2025 might be the first of the tournament. Somebody's gonna have to stat check me on that, but a very spicy ban to come out from DarkZero. Tough to call these defender bans. A Fenrir would probably be the most default expected ban from DarkZero because the other ops that they ban, Furia tend not to play too much on this map. It'll be a Clash. Again, they keep us on our toes. Love seeing the Clash ban come out. Okay, you do not see that every day. Maybe the first time a Shields has been banned against Furia. They've really not been taking a liking to that operator. And Furia will take out the Valkyrie here against DarkZero. A bit of a new one, but still quite common for teams on Chalet. So the stage is set.
All right, let's go, boys!
And the players are ready.
We will launch into our very first round between these two teams. One of them will move on to play on the main stage. For people who haven't been following the way that these games go, so far today, all of these matches are in the upper bracket. The lower bracket will start tomorrow and go onwards. But as for these teams, the winner of this match goes into the upper bracket semifinals. Now, the reason why we say they will be on the main stage is because, while the upper bracket semifinal won't be occurring on the main stage, the loser of those matches will then get put down into a part of the lower bracket that will be played on the main stage. So you're not qualifying to play on the main stage in your next match. You're qualifying to play it in the lower bracket in the match after that. And we've already seen two teams find themselves in a position where they will be on the main stage, Jesse. Spoilers inbound. Team BDS prevailed, honestly, in a bit of a shocking matchup against Unwanted. Unwanted kept that one very, very close. BDS did prevail 2-1. They will be going up against Space Station Gaming, who stunned G2 just on the stream earlier, before we went live. Both of those teams will be present on the main stage. The winner of Virtus Pro and Raza Company Academy, which is occurring on the B stream in just a couple minutes. The winner of that matchup will play the winner of Furia DarkZero, and the losers will go down into the lower bracket.
Plenty of great games. I love getting deep into the bracket, the Six Invitational, because the teams just get better and better. And both these squads, I think, would be worthy opponents in that upper bracket semifinals. But of course, only one can make it there. We're here, Chalet, round number 1 in the basement for Furia for their first bomb site. Not the most common site that we see teams starting off on. DarkZero setting up, it looks like, for a wine execute, where they will eventually go try to get that defuse kit down under the dining hatch. Plenty of roamers, though, still to watch out for. I don't know if they know where Herds is. They fire a few bullets his direction, so they do know. He escapes with half HP.
The previous matchup between DarkZero and M80, the team that struck first in all of the maps would then go on to win that map. First Bloods were also hugely important in DZ versus M80. Well, if you're Furia, you're going to be happy with that. You get not 1, not 2, but 3 opening kills. As you've seen 3 players get involved in the fun. Herds and JV92 will need a kill for a team ace to be had on the side of Furia. As for DarkZero, it's all up to NJR. Herds must kill him for the team ace. JV92 now has 1. Herds dies at the hands of NJR. It almost came to pass, Jesse.
He tried. Gave it his best shot. Somehow I don't think he'll be too upset, though.
I mean, NJR is in a real rough spot at this point. He had a terrific game against M80 earlier today. hit a long-range sight on to KZ, but it's just too much debris in the way. Furia win round number 1 here on Chalet.
And good to see from the world champions, right? You're always a little bit worried when you don't play your first match until 7:30 p.m. that they're going to be a little bit cold. Maybe they're going to load into things. And DarkZero, they had a game not that long ago, so they're going to be a bit more ready for it. But thankfully, Furia were okay. It seems like we might have some tech issues here as Nafe's headphones are not working properly. But in any case, it really does feel like we're set up for a fantastic game and a fantastic series, despite what DarkZero may have done in the map ban phase. Because when you talk about a team as brilliant as this, not just with Nafe as the IGL and captain, but also with their brand new coach of Kangaroo Kenny, who has really revitalized DarkZero, in my opinion, both with operator bans and with general playstyle. They're going to go into that second map of Border with a game plan. They should be coming to Chalet with a strong plan as well. I talked a little bit about how these two teams have both played a lot of Chalet at the Six Invitational. Furia have a win and a loss at SI, getting destroyed by CAG Osaka 7-2, but then bouncing back and beating Shopify in a 15-round game. For DarkZero, the story was very much the same on Chalet. They got destroyed in their first game by Raza Company. That was a 7-3, and they bounced back and beat BDS 8-6. So both teams started with a pretty rough matchup on Chalet, answered it with a very close win against a top team in the tournament. So you got to imagine they're on somewhat equal footing here on the first map.
I would agree with that.
Great.
I wonder how much the result against M80 and all that transpired afterwards will serve as motivation for DarkZero. I went over and spoke with the team as they were setting up, and they were all smiles. They couldn't really believe what happened at the end of that match. There wasn't any fear or anything. It was more just disappointment and embarrassment from actions that weren't their own. But, I mean, we love drama. We love excitement. We love what esports brings. Maybe not quite to that level, but
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, you were just a part of one of the most memorable moments in the history of our esport. Furia was as well in their SI final against FaZe Clan in Brazil last year, but it's been a bit of a fall from grace for this Furia team since then. They have really struggled. They got knocked out in the quarters by Liquid in the very next major in Manchester after everybody had spent so long avoiding the word dynasty. And then they win SI, and we're like, all right, they won every single event in a calendar year. They're a dynasty. And then they're like, oopsies, and they forgot how to play in the quarterfinals. They get stunned by Liquid, and then they don't even qualify for the Montreal major.
Yeah, gate kept by Nuxka and Guto.
The dynamic duo.
Who unfortunately, I believe, have both been released from their roster since that matchup. But obviously, Furia have suffered more failures in the last 6 months than they've really ever experienced as a team. Prior to missing the Montreal major, they'd made, I don't know the stat off the top of my head, something like 10 events in a row, though, across the official circuit, which is just ridiculous. And of course, through those 10 events, they've made 2 SI Grand Finals. They won one of them. They won more majors than anyone else in history. I almost wonder if it was a good thing for Furia to miss an event and take some time off, because they'd been playing non-stop Siege for the better part of 2 years when they finally missed the major. And so taking that time both to revitalize a little bit, enjoy some off time, but also remember what it feels like to miss an event, remember what it feels like to lose out on a moment like that, I think really lights a fire in a team like Furia, and they've shown it so far by being first place in their group.
It's not an exact parallel, but when G2, at the time known as Penta Sports, was winning everything, and then they went to the Sao Paulo Grand Finals, which was season 6, season 7. I honestly, the early years kind of blend together. It was my first live event, and they got humbled, and they lost. They didn't even make it to the finals. They got beaten by Black Dragons in the semis. On the way out, talking to them as they were leaving, Shas, at the time their coach, said that he thought it was good for them to experience defeat. It recentered them, and it put their desire to win into a different level. And then, of course, they went on to have what at the time was the most historic match of Rainbow Six that we'd ever seen, which was the 2018 SI. And then they were pretty much unbeatable from that point onwards. I mean, obviously, Liquid didn't get that memo at Atlantic City, but
Yeah.
that was under very different circumstances. Could Furia find some fire? Well, they won round number 1. They will be on the wrong side of the opening duel here on round number 2 as DarkZero get the leadoff pick onto KZ, who's had some serious struggles at this event.
Yeah, Sen's wall coming out now. The Blackbeard being held by Kobe, too. Easy bringing all the bells and whistles to this execute. Nafe rotated over into Library as well with the Blitz shield here, but Philly Pox will be the first point of contact as Nade holds the cross. Never mind, JV's in Nafe.
Nade dies, that's the shield down. DarkZero dominating on the kill feed, but Nade not moved out of his position on Chimney. Will pay or make them pay with 2 very swift kills. Interestingly enough, we have a round where both of the recruits are playable. It's quite rare to see them both in action at the exact same time. A 2v2 now for the final 40 seconds.
Bolo jumping on in, regrabs that defuse kit. Got full top floor. Furia not looking to recontest. This tracker from NJR might be the big thing that saves them. It's going to give them great information on where Nade is at. And Herds as well, if they've got a ping on him at some point. They do not, so they will not know Herds' position. That could be a massive advantage from Furia.
Bolo holds on to that case. He's not usually the guy to walk in the objective, but somebody's got to do it given that your typical support players are down. DarkZero now running against the clock. They'll try to flush out Herds in this position. He's not moved off of this spot. Now it's Nade being focused on Herds on the flank around. Is there something to exploit? He's looking for an opening, out-dueled by NJR. Bolo sticks the plant, but Nade is able to walk right up and get a quad kill. Not the ace because he secured the down. What a performance. Unbelievable stuff by Nade to get the quad kill and the objective. Furia off to a great start.
Beautiful play coming out from the support player of Furia. Nade, the 21-year-old, had to beat his twin brother last year in the grand finals to win SI. That was showcased beautifully in our new documentary that was put out just yesterday. Hour-long feature presentation showcasing that grand finals in all of its glory.
Jesse, I thought your part in the documentary was excellent.
You thought my one line was good? I practiced it many times.
Did you?
Yeah.
I thought it was funny because they put out the tweet where they're like, special thanks to all these people, and you're like, whoa, I'm in it. And then you checked it and you're like, I'm in it for 4 seconds.
Genuinely.
It is an hour long, and I'm in it for 4 seconds, but they still took the time to thank me.
Well, and I appreciate that, you know, it doesn't go unnoticed.
It's like impact kills.
Yep.
If you get 1 kill and that kill wins a round and you go on to win 8-7, look, you don't need a lot of speaking time, Jesse.
In that one line that I delivered, effectively what I did was I glazed KZ and Herds. I called them 2 of the mechanically best players in the entire world. I think I called them the best players in the entire world, and I stand by that. You know, despite the struggles over the last year, these players as individuals are ridiculous, and they're even better as teammates working with the rest of the squad, but the mechanics that the top fraggers of Furia have are just insane. I think over the last year, JV92 has gotten even better as a player as well. He was maybe a quieter part of that Six Invitational run, although nobody was not important. He's really stepped up to be one of the best players. I believe he currently top frags for the team. Yes, he does. Best KD ratio at the very least for Furia so far.
The Blackbeard vaults on in. Pambazu taking a big opportunity. The player you said who's much improved. It's good enough for a single kill before Bolo gets rid of him. First kill will go to Furia, but it won't really give them much of a lead. Hold on a moment. KZ on the double run out. Nade jumping down on NJR. Bolo is the last man standing. 55 seconds into the round, and we are just about ready to move on. I mean, depends if Bolo's able to clutch this one. He almost pulled it off on Skyscraper against M80 just 6 hours ago. He's got plenty of time. He's got the entire round to go. He doesn't have the case, but he has the ability to slingshot up the hatch. Fails to land a shot onto the head of the Frost. He was expecting the Legion to peek, but KZ will do it instead. Furia springing off to a very hot start here.
Very kind of KZ to showcase those great mechanics as soon as I bring it up on the cast.
You're welcome.
Beauty shots.
I'm taking credit.
KZ. You did.
I'm taking.
Beauty
KZ isn't here right now, so I'll accept the award on his behalf.
KZ is on the other side of this wall over there. He's in the other room.
He's in the other side of this wall, and then there's a room, and then there's another wall, and then there's another room with 2 booths, and they're in the farthest room.
He's not far. Look at these shots. First one to Kobe, nice. This next one was the beauty, though. Straight to the head of Nafe. That is not an easy one. And then the third as well, Bolo. Didn't have much of his head showing, but KZ hits those every time. I think it also speaks to the play style of Furia, right? On the defense, they are always hunting for picks, always looking to get aggressive. Their eyes are constantly waiting for that opportunity. Some teams, you'll see them, maybe they'll get aggressive when they're in a 3v5. Maybe they'll get aggressive when they need to win the round. Maybe they'll even spawn peek once or twice. Maybe in the 5v5, they'll get aggressive if they think they don't have the strongest of hold. Furia, I feel like no matter the situation, no matter the circumstance, they are always ready to swing out and get a pick if they see that they have an opportunity to make that happen. Part of that is confidence. You don't dominate an entire year of Rainbow Six Siege without believing that you're the best. And I think when they've got that belief in themselves, when they've got that confidence, they often feel empowered to make those plays. Even if they're not necessary to win the round, even if you go from a winning position to an even more winning position, they like to make those moves, and it often does pay off for the Brazilians.
I was going to weigh in on something you just said, but I completely blanked on it.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Great job, Parker.
Not always. I'm not always at the top of my game with your remarks. It was going to be a dig at you, by the way. So, I mean, like, I was going to joke at your expense.
To me?
I know.
You would do that to me?
I know. It's often unheard of. Dokkaebi hack now coming in. That logic bomb will give information away to DarkZero.
Timing.
The sound it makes on the 2 robots of Skopos is genuinely very funny.
Some would call it infuriating.
Infuriating.
Nice try.
I thought I could make it work.
It's going to leave that second body up inside a bar. It's unlikely that it will ever be swapped to again because it should be very easy to destroy it as soon as DarkZero take that map control. It means that all 5 players are back inside the bomb site for Furia, leaving DarkZero 90 seconds to set up whatever type of execute they're going to be looking for.
Grenade rolls in front of Herds, but the explosion only hits the wall and door frame, so he takes no damage from that. I don't know if they had an idea of somebody being down there. They've only got 2 drones remaining at this point, so DarkZero will be in a really rough spot when it comes to intel, and there's still a minute left on the board. Now, they've managed to clear out an awful lot of this first floor, but hold on a second here. What is this from KZ?
I kind of like it. You want to hold the blue stairs. He's got ADSs here as well. Some of those utility went over towards Boiler instead. This is kind of a cheeky play. I like it.
A grenade does not go far enough on blue stairs to trigger the ADS, so KZ's position has not been given away. Nade is the only person who's taken any damage at this point. A very, very sluggish round by both of these teams. Furia obviously wanting to continue their hot play, looking at a 4-0 opportunity as Nafe does a bit of damage, but I mean, Nafe survives for the time being. KZ falls back. Now it's a follow-up from Nade. Nade and Nafe, you're going to hear these two quite often. Bolo breathing an awful lot of gas. He's taken down as Kobe eliminates Herds. And now Kobe could have another, but he botches the shots onto JV92. Big numbers advantage for Furia as they've reduced DarkZero to NJR. But the kills aren't what's going to matter. The diffuser is miles away, and the clock will give the round to the Brazilians. Does Kangaroo Kenny call a timeout right now, Jesse? It is 4-0 for Furia.
You got to imagine at some point he needs to call this. Things are starting to spiral out of control for DarkZero.
9 kills for DZ through 4 finished rounds.
Jeez. And I don't believe attack timeout is being called, so...
Does not appear so. Nafe still searching for his first kill as well.
The coach is going to hold on. Thinks it can be better used at a later time. We also have seen coaches sometimes in a stomp opt not to use their tactical timeout. Map 2 of the last series, Bodega lost 7-2 and decided not to use his tac. Not sure if copying him is going to be the best strategy going forward.
Just gonna say this. Copying him is a bad idea right now. Don't think it needs to be elaborated on.
Well, without any words from their coach, DarkZero have 2 more rounds to pull themselves out of this pit on the offense. They will lose the half. The question is by how much. That last round, Furia did a great job of switching the pace up. You know, it started off this first 3 rounds with Furia playing very aggro, going for a lot of swings. We talked about it in reference to KZ. This time they say, what if we just sit 5 guys in the basement and we all hold staircases with shotguns? Turns out, pretty good strat.
Except when it's a Blackbeard and your M870 does no damage to it.
Okay, but the Blackbeard got owned at the end.
Own is quite the word. He was defeated. Vanquished, some would even say.
He was put on a leash.
That is not broadcast appropriate. I mean, if you look at the way that Chalet plays out, do you have some signs of concern if you're Kangaroo Kenny? Because he's ultimately going to determine when that timeout is called. Chalet is the most played map so far at the Six Invitational. Jesse, it's been played 14 times, 162 rounds in total. It's defender-sided. But it being defender-sided is not necessarily accurate. 54% of the rounds have been won by defenders, 46 by attackers. That's very close to 50-50 territory. The only thing I will say is that the bottom floor bomb site has quite a great set of numbers for the defenders. 60% of all rounds won by the defenders, and it is the most played bomb site on this map.
And it's locked for the next couple of rounds, so thankfully for DarkZero, they won't have to attack it once again. Instead,
they won it. Furia won it.
Yeah, that's why it's locked.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, I mean, opportunities now for DZ. Already an opening pick on a KZ, and JV92 forced back as well.
KZ dying as your main aggressor outside of Nade's clutch performance. Of those 7 kills, 4 of them came in 1 round as that quad clutch emerged. Herd still searching for his first kill too, as he and Nafe have been held off the score sheets. DarkZero coming to blows, and they're winning almost every single engagement. They just now need to find Philippox, who's downstairs inside of the bomb site. Furia so far has been doing very well with the site rotation. Bolo on the follow-up on blue stairs after the Blackbeard took Philippox's attention, and Bolo makes no mistake about that engagement. DZ finally get on the board. They can't be particularly happy with the way that this game has gone so far.
No, but I think some life to them now, and I think even if they can pull this one back to a 4-2 half, they should be feeling pretty decent for the second half. You know, it's a map that does tend to lean 50-50 more or less, and DZ get defense after this, so I don't think they're too worried just yet. Some great Blackbeard play, making a lot of good space for DarkZero. Sometimes we see teams overfight on the Blackbeard, and it never ends up paying off. This time around, DarkZero, they worked NJR in down from lobby, and we got 2 big kills that we see here. And then Pambazoo made that space, only pulled out the gun when it made sense, when he was in that elevated position that wasn't being expected by the Azami. I was able to clean up the last couple of kills there. Furia 4-1 up still, but DarkZero some life in them. The final round will be set on Kitchen, so despite the fact that a lot of the powerful bomb operators on the top floor are unbanned, we often see a zombie or castle banned on this map. Furia don't want to play that top floor, and usually I find that they're more willing to play those when the operators are up, but Furia still just deciding they don't like that.
Jesse, here's a little fun fact for you.
Parker, please give me a fun fact as we head into round 6.
Kitchen was played in round number 3. It was won, obviously, by the defenders. It is the only bomb site on Chalet that has a positive win rate for the attackers. The other 3 bomb sites, as mentioned earlier, Wine Cellar Snowmobile, Bar Gaming on the main floor, and then Bedroom and Office on the top floor, all skewing towards defenders. Kitchen and Dining already going for the defenders 1 time, despite being essentially a coin flip bomb site too, is great for Furia, but DarkZero look decently motivated. They were actually able to hit some shots in the previous round. Their entry was good. Furia maybe bit off a bit more than they could chew on their roam. The next 30 seconds of this round will be quite crucial. Do DarkZero sweep through the rest of the map and put more pressure on these offsite players upstairs of Furia? They're hunkered down for the time being, and they've got some protection from those Kiba barriers and mute jammers.
Yeah, I mean, there's 4 players up here for Furia. It's not going to be an easy task for DarkZero to take this space, but that's why they're running 2 shields. A Dread Mine goes off and moves are attempted, but Furia don't find anything. A lot of damage into Pambazu as KZ steps up and finds the Blackbeard, but he's still alive. He's got his gun up as well, ready to take some shots. Kiba's being broken down and some smokes used. Do they get into office? That needs to be the goal.
Blackbeard just being the main focal point will absorb so much damage. So those 30 seconds would be incredibly vital, and they haven't been able to dislodge Furia from this spot whatsoever. At this point, does DarkZero continue, given that they think they've sunk enough costs into this? Or do they opt to go elsewhere? Nitrocell goes out. Philippe Hawks looking for one. KZ starting off well. Herds on the board last round. He'll pick up another kill here as there goes a pocket impact. The Blitz maneuvered around, pushing him down. Nafe will get on the board. KZ answers right back. And the first half goes in favor of the defending world champions by a score of 5-1.
Beautiful play by KZ. I think a 4K to complement his 3K earlier on in the half. Six Invitational here. He's tempting to two-peat as the SI MVP from last year, and he currently leads the tournament in kills per round, averaging 0.97 frags every round that he's played, which is kind of insane when you think about it. We usually talk about 1.00 as like the ridiculous mark, so to be just a smidge below that is still extremely impressive. Furia in that round, they made a fortress out of Office and Piano. You don't often see teams reinforcing all 4 Office walls, but Philippe Hawks did just that, and he made a little bunker. Had a mute jammer in there, was able to just play extremely passive so that he couldn't take any gunfights. At the same time, he allowed his teammates to play around him. Herds back inside of Master, and then of course, KZ playing from Piano with those Kiba barriers. Showed a masterclass on Azami and proved just why that operator is often thought to be the most powerful defender in the game.
I mean, you referenced Azami's power as a defender. I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was DZM80.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to remember which map it was that you said that, though. I feel like it was Clubhouse.
Maybe. I yap about Azami a lot. She's very, very...
Don't say yap. You're a self-respecting adult.
What?
Yap is the word used by children.
Just because you're 85 doesn't mean I can't use hip lingo, Parker. I'm still a Zoomer.
You said hip lingo. You're not beating the allegations here, Jesse.
All right.
There goes a grenade tossed out looking for an entry point. Philippe Hawks off to the races. KZ with 10 kills will be the first casualty of this second half. Down goes the Blitz, and now it's a hard lesson to learn for the Legion. Philippe Hawks and Herds both on the board. Nade sails in. It claims Nafe. Bolo and Pambazu last 2 alive. They'll have to retake with the diffuser down. Great shooting by Pambazu, and he and Bolo now combined for 9 kills. There's still plenty of utility, though, for Furia in this post plant. 2 adrenal surges. Lion has a scan. You've still got 2 of those quote-unquote smoke grenades from the sends of Nade. DarkZero cannot afford to be patient here. They don't know exactly where to press from. Down goes Pambazu. Bolo worried about what's above, worried about what's outside. He sees the drop from the Lion. Down goes JV92. And Herds will sweep back into the bomb site as we were very quickly nearing the point of no return. Speaking of the point of no return, Jesse, it is 6-1 Furia. I don't know what it is about DarkZero, but when they go to their opponent's map, they get absolutely annihilated. It was a 7-1 victory for M80 on M80's map earlier today. DZ were able to run up the score on their own map choice, but now here they are on Furia's map, and guess what's happening?
I mean, it's something that Des talked about, right? They talked about how DarkZero are very much a comfort-based team. They're extremely good when they can rely on their backbone, when they know exactly what's going on. If they get caught off guard a little bit with a map pick or with some kind of a play that the enemy team is making, they often struggle a little bit. I gotta say, that push from Furia was absolutely flawless. Every single member of the team did something extraordinary in that execute. Philippe Hawks on the Blackbeard was able to jump in and take space of the bomb site. Herds was jumping in Mudroom at the same time to pick up some more kills, an important one onto Kobilax. JV92 was locking down the top floor of Library and nading out Nafe, who was playing that Library corner. Nade was able to get the defuse kit down inside of the bomb site, and KZ was the opening death to give them a false sense of confidence. Massive impact from all the players on Furia. That last execute, you could just tell that this is a well-oiled machine, and you're seeing a little bit of that team that won the Six Invitational just a year ago.
It seems like the deeper that we get into this tourney, the better this Furia team does. That is a scary thing for every single opponent that they will run across. Again, the winner of this matchup between DarkZero and Furia will play on the main stage here in Boston. So if you're a fan of DarkZero, you desperately want them to win, because if they fail here, it's a long road for them to get to a point where they might be on that main stage. We talked about this in the DZM80 matchup, but as it stands right now, if you qualify for the upper bracket semifinals, which is what the winner of this match does, even if you lose, you play in the lower bracket quarterfinals, which will be on stream. Both of these teams now in a very pivotal round will come to blows early on. Furia and DarkZero losing one apiece. Herd's dying after he had been relatively ineffective in the first half is maybe not as detrimental as losing both Kobe and Banbazoo. Now it's another pick from DarkZero. Neither of these teams can escape one another as it's a 3v3. Just a little bit over half of the round to go.
Yeah, and honestly, DarkZero still holding a good chunk of the map. 2 players top floor, Nafe and Bolo locking down Office and Piano. That's the same spot that we saw Fleetpox and KZ locking down on their defense of this map, so still good control from DZ. Furia don't have what they need just yet to go for an execute. With the Office wall opening, that gives them a bit of an opportunity. And if they can hunt down a pick on a Bolo, that'd be nice, but I'm not sure that pressure is really there. Bolo's mostly just paranoid. Maybe we can see JV on the window get a pick.
Nade was inching up, looking for it. Bolo gives him the opportunity, flushed out of his position by a logic bomb. Just see, is this curtains for DarkZero? 2 players remain. Not a lot for them to work with.
NJR's going to retake the site, and Nafe is still holding top floor. Nafe is really being a hero in this round. He's got so much utility. He's got to make sure that he can keep this space so that he can maybe deny from up above. He's really got to trust an NJR in the site, because he's going to be all alone down there.
You split your forces, but when you don't have a lot of them, well, what can be done? If NJR dies, that's a tough one, but he battles back against JV92. Felipox jumps on him. It's Nafe in a 1v2. Furia looking for the knockout punch, but Nafe has another idea. Rebuffing Nade. Felipox and Nafe in a 1v1. Right now, it's just a war of words. Will they come to blows? Felipox at the halfway point of this diffuser. Now it's down, and Nafe will use the kill holes from above, but he's under watch of those drones. He drops as Felipox is far enough away. ACOG in hand, and Felipox takes what remains of Nafe and throws it in the bin. My Furia, what a victory. But this is nothing new for DarkZero. A 7-1 victory for DZ's opponents on their map. They experienced that against M80, and DZ still won the best of 3. If you're a fan of that team in purple, you are hopeful that history will repeat itself. If not, Furia is getting us away quickly to catch the rest of the Super Bowl. Who knows? Furia takes map number 1. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
There are many great players who are not champions, who have never lifted the hammer, who might never lift the hammer. And it's not because they aren't good enough, they just might not put in what it requires to really get there. Because they're the goods and not the greats.
There is not 1 hour of the day where your mind can be off siege. You have to sacrifice everything to win.
If you were to win any event and call it quits, it would probably be the Six Invitational.
Chegar no topo uma vez, então assim foi um momento de muita emoção.
The Invitational is, the kind of the final checkpoint, the final test. It meant the world to me.
History will be made here because for the first time on home soil, a Brazilian team will win a world championship.
The only thing that matters is the 4 guys next to you, your coach, and the screen in front of you.
No one ever really just goes and wins. You have to go through the pain, the hardships.
Phase are exploding!
You have to go all in. That's it.
Quem perdeu foi nós tudo ali. E a gente que vai virar isso aqui agora.
Então você tem que confiar muito no seu time.
Não vamos desistir, não vamos desistir.
When you truly want to become the best, you truly have to believe that you are, because you have to play it 100%.
This music always gets me, I have to say. It is banging. But you know what's been banging? It's Furia. They have gone ham on map number 1 against DarkZero and have taken it 7-1. My God, Fox.
Oh, my God, indeed. I mean, that's what I was saying when I saw the map bans. We unanimously agree that these map bans did not work out in DarkZero's favor. They definitely tried something. I don't know if it's working, but I would definitely keep
It's
that.
not.
I would definitely keep it hidden for the next future games, because that Chalet was exactly what we described it to be. Furia was just so aggressive, so oppressive, constantly shutting down DarkZero. Even when they would get into the map, it was just constant crossfires. Look at this clip from KZ.
And he's dealing with a team that have become shield merchants for a round. That was the biggest fear going into SI for Furia.
Absolutely, and just Furia just had a really good understanding of what to do. They played their classic version of Siege. They played together as a team. They were dominating with the opening kills. DarkZero, on the other hand, really sloppy teamwork. I mean, once they did get into the building, they weren't really able to find their footing. They couldn't get Panda any kills. The denial, the drone denial from Furia was so good. But you know, I'm an analyst, I'm an expert, but Milosh, as a host, since you're watching and you've peaked Plat, what would be your expert opinion on this game?
First of all, I don't take peak this Plat as like a denigration or anything, because Plat 2 is already like better than 89% of players out there. So shout out to all you Plats out there.
Whatever you got to say to sleep at night.
Plus, what do you mean as a host, buddy? That was casting and analyzing before you were even playing. Get out of here. But
you weren't.
Clearly, it was Furia's game. They played it well in the map bans itself, so they were definitely prepared for DarkZero, and it's just very slow from the DZ side. When you can't slow Furia down, and then on your attacking side, they just keep jumping at you, and you have to rush into them, it's just not gonna work out. But to break it all down, thank you very much for the question, though, Vox.
No problem.
It really good. It kicked me back into it, but from one himbo to another, we got Laxing standing by Telestration.
Yes, sir, I do. I mean, if 7-1 wasn't convincing enough, and what we already touched up on how well Furia has been playing and this map decision, so there's going to be key points in these gunfights that you're going to need to be keep in mind. Keep in mind to the player KZ. This is important. Also, keep in mind to JV92. These are going to be pivotal pieces throughout this match, throughout this round, as you were going to see here. So, as we can see, DZ wants to set up for a quick take into trophy. Huge pick by JV getting Pamba, but this is a key moment right here. NJR, Bolo, they know Kitchen is completely clear. They can go for this. But what does Furia do? They send KZ back to this front door that is going to be taken on Kobe, that is also then going to be grabbing this pick onto Nafe, and this is where everything unfolds. This is where Furia has the answer and what they need in order to retake this round, regain composure. What you are going to see here now is KZ is going to take this fight onto Kobe. Beautiful shot from him right here. He shouldn't be winning that. Again, Kobe, you need to win those. And then this shot. And what this allows essentially right here, this now allows Nade to swing into Master, to be able to peek this hatch and go for the diffuser on NJR and get that information. As you will again see from the top-down view, KZ gets the kill onto Kobe, gets the kill onto Nade. That now allows Nade into the site, dropping that diffuser, and then it leaves Bolo in a situation where realistically, he's just not going to win. And at the end of the day, this is exactly why Furia is looking so dominant, because not only is their teamwork on point, so is their communication. And again, if DZ wants to find themselves back in this, it's going to happen on border. But that's not going to happen till after this break.
Back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Back to the back to the back to the back to the back. Take it back, take it back. Back it up, 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 back it up. Take it back, take it back. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
And here we are back again, DarkZero getting ready after the wipeout. That was map 1, only able to take 1 round out of the 8 that we had, 7 going the way of Furia, reigning world champions from last Invitational. You used to know them as W7M. W7M, I'm sure you've heard Ian say it ad nauseum last SI. What happens here? They're so close. 1 map away from making it to the main stage of the Invitational 25 this Friday at the MGM Theater at Fenway Park. But we have to have a chat because my wonderful analysts here, both Laxing and Foxy, both from North America, by the way, if you cannot tell. Well, when we were looking at those map bans, there were a lot of questions, Intero bangs that were raised. Can we unbang the Intero, please?
You know, as much as I want to just say DZ has a chance here, they can bring it back. I needed something to be shown for Chalet, given how good Furia is on it. Now you're going to another map where they're even better on. So, I mean, I just got to put it blunt. I really don't think DZ is going to have anything left in the tank here. You know, we're talking about aggressive plays, aggressive maps, and you're going to border. This is going to be nothing but aggression from Furia, and you couldn't seem to thwart that off on Chalet. What makes you think you're going to do it on border?
Lift me up, please.
I mean, as an analyst desk, we got to be able to lift the spirits up a little bit, but unfortunately, I agree with my counterpart. I don't think border's going to go in DarkZero's favor at all. I mean, it's Furia's best map. It's Furia's best map. They're currently on a 12-0 win streak on the map, and it's an aggressive map that just highlights what Furia is so good at. They're just constantly able to get those picks. We didn't see DZ really get in the map too much on Chalet. Can they change that tide on border? It's all going to come down to if they can just execute, and that's the most important.
They don't even look stressed. Look, he's laughing right now.
Man. They're laughing. And you know what? Silver lining 12-0 means a lot of VODs for Kangaroo Kenny to go through and prepare for you and the team, but we're just going to have to get into the server on border to get it all started. Thank you very much, Fox and Lax. We got Intero and Jesse to take us through it.
Thank you so very much. This might be our very last map here on the A stream, or we might have another hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours to go. Earlier today, we were kind of writing DarkZero's obituary pretty quickly after M80 slapped the taste so far out of their mouth that it seemed like they would never taste again. And then DZ surprised us on their own map pick, winning 7-2, and almost an equally dominant performance from DarkZero. The desk doesn't seem as confident in their ability to do it against Furia. Jesse, do you agree, yes or no?
I do. I mean, the desk...
Yes, that's not a yes or a no. You said I do.
I said
We're not getting married,
yes.
Jesse.
Yes, I do. I mean,
we're not getting married.
The desk was not kidding. This is a tough map for DarkZero to have chosen. Border 12-0. I want to be clear. That's not 12-0 like stretching back to the Middle Ages. That's 12-0 this season. Like over the last 12 months, Furia are 12-0 on this map, which is just ridiculous.
I do hear that while our ancestors were discovering fire and figuring out how to round off the wheel, Furia was beating teams on border.
That's true.
It's been quite an impressive run for them.
It has. They've been beating teams on this map for a very long time, and Monty is their permaban on this map, so they're not going to make any change-ups as they head into this oh-so-important map number 2, DarkZero. I wasn't sure what they were going to ban. Dokkaebi was my pick because I like to predict something no matter what, but that was a tough one to call a toss-up. This should be in a zombie from DZ. Yes, it is. There we go. 3 for 3. Let's make it a 4. Valkyrie would be the most expected ban from Furia based on their previous results. Couple options that they could run here on the defense. 4 for 4. I don't go 4 for 4.
You're so good.
I don't go 4 for 4 very often anymore, Parker, because
You're so good.
DZ started changing up their bans, and it started being much harder to predict.
Jesse, it's almost as if you are the Philadelphia Eagles, currently 24-0 over America's most hated team, the Kansas City Chiefs. It's almost like you are 24-0.
Furia is basically 24-0 on this map.
Well, they're 12-0. So that's actually half of it.
That's exactly half. They're like a half
crazy,
eagle.
isn't it? Did you say they're half an eagle?
Yeah.
I don't think it works that way.
And DarkZero is like a half of a Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Taylor Swift's boyfriend is in action tonight. He's on the other channel. Who doesn't love Taylor Swift? Lots of people, apparently.
Really?
Do you like Taylor Swift?
I'm a fan.
Would you call yourself a Swift
songs? I listen. I think she's got some good songs, some less good songs, but I think overall.
Would you go see her? Were the Eras tour still ongoing? Would you pay to go see her?
I don't think I would pay as much money as the tickets usually cost. I don't think I'm that big of a fan, but if I got tickets like for free or for cheap, yeah, I'd go. I'd have a good time. I'd sing along to like some of it.
You are so brave.
Thank you. We'll start on the most popular bomb site on border. Of course, it's going to be the top floor. I expect this to be bog standard for Furia. They got standard bans. They're not the ones who chose this map. They probably weren't expecting to play it up against DarkZero, but DZ made the call that it would be on the docket, so here we are. Immediately some util being saved by NJR as he drives that Brava drone back outside of the site. The castle barricade will be dispatched by Bolo as he opens up a way to the bomb site. Oh. Wow, what a shot from KZ, my God.
He was a slow starter here at the beginning of this event, but boy, oh boy, has he caught fire. And it's not every day that you see NJR compliment somebody for their shooting, but he does indeed. Now, when the last time DarkZero was talking in chat today, it was not necessarily welcoming words.
Not quite as respectful.
Pambazu almost died as well, so not the start that DZ wants.
Yeah, they got to find some way back into things, but with these mirror windows set up around break room, still Magnet's going to be all over the place as well. I mean, it's DarkZero. It's going to rely on the shields to find an opening.
There's an opportunity for Herds to take out Nafe. He will lose that black mirror, and oh boy, he tries to run away. Philippe Hawks mag dumping, but guess what? He kills Nafe all the same, so blood for the blood god, I suppose. A sacrifice for Furia to keep their advantage. That is, unfortunately, an error for Furia that will haunt them. Pambazu is watching over top of this Maestro. They will drone him out in just a second, and oh boy. Do not really know how he gets out of this situation. KZ dies. Philippe Hawks on borrowed time. That just leaves 2 players from Furia to contend with DarkZero. I love the way DZ have repositioned themselves, Justin.
Indeed, Kobe now knows there's one inside of office, but unfortunately it's Nate holding a shotgun on a close angle. That's not going to be a fun gunfight to take. He's got to do it, though, with his teammate Pamba falling now on the other side of the map.
DarkZero seemingly getting themselves out of the position that they were in. Wow. But JV92 and Nade combined for the final set of kills, and Furia's winning ways transfer over from map 1 to border.
You saw Bolo try to make another angle over on the office triple wall, and that was going to be a really smart idea because that would have given them a crossfire onto Nade. It would have made it essentially a free pick, but the mute jammer was preemptively set up. They knew exactly what they were doing from start to finish in that round. Clean stuff coming through from Furia. Even in a round where they TK, the rest of it just looked so smooth. And of course, it all started with this shot onto NJR in spawn. That's a good reaction. That should get turned into a GIF at some point. Some shenanigans for sure in this game, but ultimately I think Furia played it very, very well. The crossfires they had set up start to finish were beautiful. JV92, that last frag, holding things on from the bomb site too. Just clean play from the world champions, as you'd expect in a matchup like this where they head to their favorite map. Just in case you were curious on who they had defeated 12 times in a row, Parker, I've actually got the teams. Would you like to know who Furia has defeated on this map?
Yes.
Great. They have, over the course of the last 12 months, defeated in a row W7M, Black Dragons, E1, Fluxo, ITB, DarkZero, that was an 8-7 game back at the EWC.
I know them.
SSG, W7M again, MIBR, Ninjas in Pajamas, Team Liquid, and then MIBR again. 12 games in a row, and they're hoping to add DZ on that list for Lucky 13.
Are you superstitious?
Nope.
Let's hope Furia feels the same way. So 13 is not an unlucky or superstitious number for them. Furia playing a bit more reserved this time, 30 seconds off of the clock. No spawn peaks to be had and no damage that can be done to DarkZero. That was a great deal of discovery to be done by Nafe as he tests exactly what a Brava drone is capable of doing. The Kludge drone, as it's officially referred to as.
That was kind of cool, jumping the Kludge drone onto the little ledge there on the metal stairs. Keeps it within range of the camera so he can keep hacking, but also keeps it a little bit safer so that nobody in 90 can come through and shoot the drone. Kind of tech. If he messes that up, the drone falls and it loses the range on the default cam, but he did it beautifully. Cool little tech.
Lots of people that watch these games do not play this game competitively, and they certainly don't have the same level of experience that you and I do watching it or players do playing it. It's nice to just kind of give some knowledge and impart some wisdom on the viewers that a Kludge drone just needs to be in the vicinity. Bolo catches two players, seemingly Blair Witched in the corners of their rooms. Both of them with their backs turned, and what an opening gambit it is for DarkZero. Good capitalization off of the Lion EE1D, and an excellent entry by Bolo.
I gotta say, it might have been a few events, but we're watching Prime Bolo here in Boston. Nice little 2K entry. Sets DarkZero up beautifully to take the rest of this round.
It's like watching Prime Mahomes.
Yeah, you can say that. Is he playing tonight?
Is he playing tonight? Are you serious? Philippox and Herds with 2 kills. It's all up to Philippox now, the team captain, as NJR slayed 2 of the Brazilian teammates. Possible opening over to the plant spot for Nafe. Philippox catches one on the window. Down goes NJR. Bolo and Nafe now inside the site, being spam pinged away. Earlier on, Nafe set the scene by hacking most of the gadgetry, taking it out of the hands of Furia. Grenade goes in. Philippox looked like he might be able to get out, but he just seemingly he embraced it.
So when it's red, that actually means it's gonna kill you.
Red is bad.
I think he could have taken like another step back.
What if Philippox is colorblind?
Maybe.
Why is this grenade gray?
I think there's tools in the game for that though.
There are accessibility options for users who are colorblind, and if you just if you're not colorblind, you just want funky colors, you can go with that too.
Yes.
This is really where the round fell apart. Nafe set the scene by taking care of the bulletproof cameras and the default cameras, which allowed Bolo to get into that position without anybody seeing him, and he capitalized off of that. It's another indication of a team that is clicking very well. But it's also another great example of how gadgetry and teamwork can win you around without anything showing up on the standings, right? Nafe isn't credited for any of that. Nafe is 0-1, yet he paved the way for Bolo to get in and get 2 very quick kills and gain control above the bomb site. Without Nafe, Bolo doesn't get those kills, and yet on the scoreboard, nothing shows for Nafe.
That's good team play all around from DarkZero, and that's what you expect from one of the top teams inside of North America. They're looking to be the second NA team to punch their ticket to the main stage after SSG did not too long ago. For round number 3, we'll go to Ventilation Workshop as Furia have set things up pretty heavily on that top floor. It's only KZ that remains on the main floor. DarkZero start with a bit of breaching. Might want to be taking control of customs at some point in this round. Bolo gets into the first gunfight. It's over by Jail as KZ dumps a ton of bullets, but The SI champion will survive.
Very rare to see a Solus on this map, by the way.
Yeah. Rare to see a Solus on any map.
Fleabog seems to have learned what the indicators on grenades mean, by the way. Now he's scampered off. It's KZ with the shot, though, not Fleabog. Pambazu dies, so that's two separate players that KZ has had some serious influence over. Bolo survived that altercation. Pambazu was not so lucky. There's 3 players on the side of DarkZero yet to get a kill. That's going to have to change if they want to keep pace with Furia.
More shield play coming in from Nafe. He's half HP, but he still needs to make this space. What a shot from Kobe. Answers right back.
Nade and Nafe separated by a single E in terms of their names. It's Nade who perseveres in that fight. Bolo still living on potentially borrowed time. As now Kobe shrugs off some damage. That's top east. Fleapox will drop down those stairs. Good coverage. Grabs the Deimos of Kobe as he falls. It's all up to Bolo as Kobe's bleeding out. And Bolo's up top right now. It's on mezzanine, overlooking lobby. Fleapox and KZ get the final 2 kills, and they will make no mistakes in the closing moments of that round. Furia regain the lead.
Great round from the captain, Fleapox. Rock solid on those east stairs, playing on the smoke. Not an easy position. You often face a ton of pressure, and he sure did, but hit those shots with the SMG-11. Beauty stuff coming out from Furia here, not skipping a beat despite losing that last round. Top floor clear. We've seen a lot of shield play out of DarkZero. I just am not sure that it's really getting the value they need it to. Once again, as the analysts predicted, it's Furia making a lot of these early moves, right? The one round that they didn't, it was Bolo that made that first impression, that made that first aggression. But instead, now these last couple, especially round 3, we saw Furia stepping up and taking those gunfights, making the decisions as to when they'd be swinging. Keep an eye out on that for the rest of the game because it's so prevalent in both Furia's gameplay and it's so prevalent in the meta on Border. And I mean, that's why they go together so well.
I don't want to get baited into the operator swaps just yet, Jesse, but there was a glass being flexed. Nafe will lock in the Hibana, IQ, and Nomad will join in the hands of Pambazu and Bolo, respectively.
I often call Kino the best sniper in NA, and I stand by that, but Bolo is a good glass too. If you ever get to watch him on console at top floor tag, he is nasty with that operator.
Kino's a great shield player as well.
He had some good moments today.
He had, I think, one really good moment.
He had one really good moment.
And he got a lot of style points in the process.
He did. That's
got to count for something.
He did.
I mean, M80 unfortunately lost that matchup, but Kino came out looking like a cool guy. And I mean, hey, man. A lot of people being cool is half the battle. DZ have sprinted into the building now very quickly as we turn our focus towards round number 4. Pambazu seemingly no fear. He's got Kobe with him as they both sprung in through stock and detention area. That's referred to as jail for a lot of people. There are, you got it. There are metal bars in the floor.
Yeah, sometimes they take things away from you.
KZ sees the head of Nafe and removes it from his body. A little bit of subtraction being done. Who knew that we'd be in the middle of a math lesson? Bolo answers right back as KZ overstays his welcome on that door. Now it's Kobe and Herds to die. DarkZero trying to set a breakneck pace on attack, and so far, by getting in the building in the first 20 seconds and challenging these Furia defenders, you've knocked the Brazilian team on their back foot. Nafe is the only killless player on DZ. I mentioned that there was 3 of them, now it's down to just 1. And honestly, it's not the end of the world if Nafe doesn't get kills. That's just the way he does things. Fleapox waited out Bolo. His patience is rewarded inside a break room, and the dynamic duo of NJR and Pambazu is all that stands between Furia winning yet another round. Got utility on both sides of the coin, but Nade takes perfect opportunity with the EE1D going, and JV92 is there for cleanup inside a small office. Another terrific round for Furia, and it's sure starting to feel like a 2-0 is possible.
Fleapox keeps making good plays, and I'm happy to keep talking about him. Fleapox. You know, I was watching the documentary, and a lot of his teammates seem to just call him Pox.
Were you watching it because you were in it?
I was watching it because it's a great documentary. But a lot of his teammates tend to just call him Pox. I struggle to call him that because I have a favorite Canadian content creator named Pox and Locks.
It's Pox on locks.
Yeah, okay.
Did you say Pox and locks?
Well, I said Pox and locks. I just
You don't even know the name of your favorite content creator. Also, his name is Felipe, or Philippe.
Yes.
So, Philippe Pox. That's why I always fall into the trap of calling him Fella Pox, because that's just the way phonetically I think the name should go. But, I mean, Philippe Pox is his name. Call him Pox if you want.
Regardless, Pox has had some great plays over by East Stairs on the smoke, and he never let his eye leave the defuse kit. As soon as his teammate got the first kill inside a break and dropped the defuse kit on the ground, he tossed the Toxic Babe to stop anybody else from picking up that defuse kit, and then he just positioned himself inside a break room, held the little rack corner, and just waited for somebody to pick it up. So he was on that like a hawk, and I thought that was beautifully played by Philippe Pox.
What about calling him Philippe Hawks?
Ooh, the Flea Hawks. Honestly, with the way that things are going right now, he just might be.
That was my Hawk impression.
I thought it was very good.
You did not. But I appreciate you backing me up either way, because even I didn't have much faith in him. So at least it's better than whatever noises Gunnar was making earlier.
So far in the tournament, Philippe Pox has played 44 different operators, which is the second most in the entire tournament, just after Volps, and he's still putting up ridiculous numbers. He's playing the same op every single round here on Border, but do not doubt his versatility for a second, because he is so good on any op in the game.
Down goes NJR at the hands of KZ, and it looks like the castle barricade on top east will be the next thing to fall. Off it goes, grenades go in, another smoke will answer. Nafe absorbing an awful lot of damage. He's tussling with Philippe Pox, and he loses the duel. He's also dropped the diffuser down. Another gas canister will go out. Kobe doesn't want to breathe any of that in. Pambazoo in the middle of the bomb site. He and Bolo with 2 kills. An all-out brawl has broken loose as Philippe Pox can't look down any farther. 3 players remain for DarkZero. None of them, though, retrieving the diffuser dropped by Nafe. Pambazoo now felled by JV92 as Furia will look to take a deep breath and regain their composure here, Jesse.
Yeah, still 90 seconds on the clock. DarkZero, they need to slow this down. That's why Bolo is just droning. Herds reclaims the defuse kit over by top east. JV92 is still locking down the bomb site. It'll be Bolo who fights this, and he wins it too. Beauty headshot right onto Herds. At least JV92 in a 1v2, but he's repositioned a little bit, Parker. This might not be expected.
Now, Bolo will go for a pretty standard plan. So he's going to go through the lobby. JV92's position known. He'll be harassed by the death mark, but he'll have to wait it out at this point. Bolo getting away to safety while Kobe acts as the distraction. And Bolo fully trusts in Kobe to hold down the fort. His trust is not misplaced. Still a lead for Furia, but DarkZero more competitive already than they were in map number 1.
Yeah, not the cleanest round we've ever seen, but good enough for DarkZero to secure a second one here on Border. They played this map once before this. That was over against Falcons. They won that 8-7, so they know what it takes to go the distance on this map. I thought Philippe Pox continued to play brilliantly on those east stairs, but thankfully, the teammates of DarkZero really did pull together to make sure they hunted him down, and they always knew where the defuse kit was. Credit to Bolo and Kobe for working together in that 2v2, understanding the fact that they had a lot of time to play with. They could reset for a little bit. They split up, which was risky, right? If Bolo loses that fight top east, you get into a really awkward spot. If Kobe gets pushed by JV92 on that bottom floor before Bolo can rotate back, that's a scary spot. But they had confidence in their players. Bolo is 8-3. He's been insane all tournament long. It makes sense they put their trust in him to get that done.
I was going to say, I mean, with the way Bolo's been playing, even if Kobe drops the ball, which he didn't, but even if Kobe Lax drops the ball, you've still got a tremendous player who, whether he wants to plant the diffuser or not, can easily engage. The only problem at that point would come down to clock management, because at some point, Bolo would either have to aggressively hunt down JV92 or he'd have to attempt to get the diffuser down. Excuse me. So, KZ is playing very well.
Yep.
And Pambazoo is gonna be mad. So, what do you think of that, Jesse?
I mean, listen, we talked about KZ's brilliant aim in the first map, but you don't need that much aim to hit a body shot with the Boss G. It's a very simple weapon. You point, you click, you get it down from almost any range. Not as much as it used to be before the nerf.
We haven't talked an awful lot about drone economy, Jesse. There are 2 drones left on side of DarkZero, and there's 2 minutes to go. 2 drones! I don't know exactly what Herds was thinking there. Maybe it was a distraction for Philippox, who also misses out on an opportunity to take down Bolo. But DarkZero are inexplicably hitting their shots. They have no business being this competitive. They have limited to no information whatsoever. They'll use a death mark to track down Nade, who's playing by that 90 mirror window. They know exactly where he is. Death mark is about to wear off. And there goes the Nitro Cell. Kobe downing it, and Nade turns around to do double duty. An advantage for DarkZero now squandered, as this has been the most unpredictable round so far through this contest. Man of the hour finds himself in yet another 1vx situation. Unfortunately for Bolo, when he's involved in the 1vx, he has not exactly had a ton of success, but I mean, that's the way 1vxs go. You're often losing them.
I think he thinks Nade rotated back to the site. He's gonna walk right into a pinch.
Nade is not, by the way. Nade is still sitting over by break room and has not moved a muscle. I don't know from his perspective if he's got a read on top metal or not. KZ swings for information, and now all of a sudden, it's Nade as the last man standing. When you go for a clutch, you are often at the mercy of your opponents making a mistake. Furia are a team that so seldom make mistakes. Bolo's walk now into vents has been given away by a bulletproof camera. So what exactly does Nade do? Well, he patrols above, looks for the play, and waits for Bolo to peek. And the smile that spreads across his face tells you all that you need to know. Excellent play by Nade, but honestly, quite a sloppy round for some of these Furia players, and one that should not have been quite this close. By the way, if you exclude Bolo from DarkZero, the rest of the team has 8 kills.
8?
Bolo has 11.
Philippox has 8.
That is correct. Outside of the Bolo show, the rest of DZ is having some struggles. Nafe obviously still without a kill, but again, on his roll, it's not the most detrimental. But NJR, Kobe, and Panba combining for 8 kills? You gotta be better than that. You cannot allow Bolo to collect most of them. Now, admittedly, a lot of those kills from Bolo have been exit round, relatively impactless kills, but still, it looks nice on paper, and he's the one that's always being put in those unwinnable situations.
Well, and I mean, it's hard to get kills when you just don't have the information. You talked about the drone economy briefly in that round, and in the 1v1 clutch, Bolo had no drones to rely on. A single drone was left alive, and it was set up main lobby, nowhere near where Nade was playing. So Bolo was playing completely blind in that 1v1. And that's gonna be a big difference maker when you come down to these clutch situations. You know, at this level of Rainbow Six Siege, you've got nothing but good players. Bolo is insanely talented, but so is Nade, and so is everybody else on Furia. And when you're coming down to these last second 1v1s, if the attack don't have intel, if they don't have those drones to give them the edge, then it's gonna be the defense that always have that slight advantage. DarkZero, it doesn't go too horribly. They still get 2 attacks on border. This is very winnable still. But it's not the half that they wanted to have. They're going to have to overperform in the second half if they want to bring this back against the Brazilians and avoid the lower bracket.
You talked about certain players only playing the same operators. Philippox was one you noted he played Smoke for 4 of those 6 rounds. NJR was on Lion rounds, what was it? Rounds 2 through 6? Wow. He played Brava in the very first round before it went over to Nafe, and then it was Lion all the way down. Same with Kobe playing Deimos for the final 4 rounds. Those 2 players locked in on those roles. Bolo was given a bit more freedom, but he played an awful lot of Nomad. Now he'll be on the Malusi. 11 kills to his name, as we talked about. Playing inside of security, he looked for a swing out onto the balcony. He took a bunch of damage, but still survived.
I don't know if you caught it. There's an air jab that was mute jammed that Bolo just shot on the outside wall. Big brain plays coming out that mute jammer. Protects you from a logic bomb, but also the air jab. That is good tech again from DarkZero.
Bolo still right now waiting for KZ. It's 2 of the hottest players inside of the lobby, despite the fact that Philippox actually has the most kills on the side of Furia. It's been a good game for KZ. All 6 of those kills have been super high value.
surprised DarkZero. They've really held Furia back.
Nade will get the leadoff pick. Down goes Kobe. This is the half where DarkZero needs to find a burst of momentum. They pick the map. They presumably start on the bad side. Well, now you've got to pick up the pieces. Bolo dies. NJR falls soon after. Nafe breaks his goose egg to get his first kill. Now it's all up to him. He's got one. How about a second? Could an ace be on the cards? Nafe around, finds JV92. It's definitely possible. Nade with defuse kit. KZ will watch over top. Nafe giving his position away as he now crosses through metal, shrugging off a bit of damage from KZ. He softens up Nade, he gets the down. Nafe, the leader on this team, he had 0 kills prior to this moment. Not only for him, but for his entire team. An ace clutch, it's doable. Doable does not mean it will be done. KZ has been so spectacular, he'll have to shut down the hot bread, and he'll do just that. Nafe getting so tantalizingly close, but he'll have to settle for 4, as the 5th was just a bit too much. Furia wins the round, but again, another sloppy round where Furia don't take into account where they are. They aren't able to trade out. They don't know where Nafe is. They stumble. That's 2 rounds in a row where Furia win, but there were so many opportunities for DZ to take the round.
The problem is, though, how many times in a row can you get almost a round win? DarkZero, they've had some heroics showing up in this server, but never able to find the last one, the most important pick. These were brilliant shots from Nafe. Nobody's going to deny that. But they're the ones that got themselves into that position. The team is what put Nafe into that impossible 1vx situation. And I mean, you saw how difficult, how stressed the players on DarkZero looked. It's been a tough series. They've won just 3 rounds since the start of Chalet. They can't keep relying on these clutch plays. Yeah, it's nice to have players that can pop off, but you cannot be constantly putting yourself in this massive man disadvantage. A lot of that credit's got to go to Nade. Of course, for Furia, the hard support player, you don't see him getting a 2K entry very often, but he had to step up big time, and he did just that. This Furia team is looking unstoppable, Parker. They are just 2 rounds away from returning to SI main stage.
As this tournament goes on, they seemingly improve. And again, maybe the break was good for them. Maybe missing Montreal lit a fire under their proverbial asses. Oh, that's fine to say. I'm sorry. If it's not, I'll say this. Go Birds. Most of the people working in our control room, fans of Philadelphia. Just say that. Hopefully they'll make it go away. But yeah, I mean, Furia seem to be back in fine form here. I will say, one thing that we'd speculated about was that DarkZero get blown up on their opponent's map, but then they do well on either the tiebreaker or their own. This is also something that extends out to other series. Furia have already put up an incredible scoreline. Oh my. Herds might as well be on a completely other map with how far back he was. A beautiful shot on Bolo. Pambazoo answers back.
But they're reading it, right? I mean, Bolo played that exact position last time. Multiple times he swung out of the security door to try to pressure players over on the catwalk. And what did Herds do? He recognized that and he punished it.
For what it's worth, there was a tiny part of Bolo's head visible. Most players would not be able to hit that shot.
Most players, not Herds.
That is correct. Sometimes better teams are capable of pulling off the unthinkable. Furia is a team that all throughout their career have shown that they are the team that can do the unthinkable. Their comeback in Map 5 against FaZe Clan in the SI Finals last year is one of the most improbable, unlikely, and unimaginable things that we have seen in this esport. And Furia did it. Stakes are a little bit lower right now.
For sure.
This is not an SI Grand Final, Jesse, but
still SI playoffs.
I think my point still stands. And you know, Furia are often the team that is not being cheered. If they go to main stage in Boston, will they be the villains again? Depends on ultimately who they play against. Philippe Hawks kills Pambazoo. He was the only person on the board this round for DZ. And with 30 seconds left, Furia have a pretty nice nest egg.
Yeah, DarkZero, they've got no more nitro cells. They've all been used. NJR is here with the Toxic Babes. He's in a strong position, but Plant is going down, and he seems to have no idea.
He might have an idea now as a bullet whizzes over the head of Nade. He takes a lot of damage, and he gets down through the window, but is still retrievable. At worst, it's a 3v3. Down goes Kobe. Upstairs control, mighty strong at the moment for Furia. That does not bode well for DarkZero. Nafe will not have another moment to be a hero. It's all up to NJR this time. 2 kills to his name, and Herds has a sensational round. Furia moved to series point.
Just perfect predictions on what DarkZero are going to do on that roam game. Furia are reading DZ like a book. Now they're up against match point. The lower bracket calls for DZ. A loss here means that tomorrow DarkZero would play the winner of W7M versus Falcons. And with that on the line, they'll call their attack timeout.
They're bringing all the drone operators to clear all that util. So I think we go one of 2 ways. We either go for the bulletproof utility side, in which we the mirror, the castle. I think we still invest in a util like a forest drone that shit actually can clear it. Or we bring like play aggressive, but we bring the refilling traps. You know, the Legion, the Ella, even like the February. Like for the first half of the round, the first like 30, 40, 50 seconds, you have no traps in the map. Then what can they play? You know, we shoot the Bravo drone, then we start filling the Ella mines, the February mines on our walks. But yeah, I think this round it's just
Unreached or unreached.
yeah, unreached. Unreached. Do you take the Legion?
Just as a small little note, when we casted SSG the other day, we remarked on how quiet Callout was. And I said, you know, why is he being so quiet? I had speculated that the reason for that, here's the shot from Hertz, by the way. Oh my.
Beauty.
I said the reason for that was because he doesn't want us listening in. I had an opportunity to talk to Callout and the SSG guys at lunch yesterday, and I said, speak up a little bit. And he goes, I don't want people hearing what I have to say. I would love to wave the I was right flag, because that's what I'm waving right now. A lot of coaches actively resist us listening in because they don't want to give away their strats. And honestly, if I was a coach, I'd feel the same way. I would absolutely not want anybody to hear what I have in terms of strategies cooked up. But I am a broadcaster. We are putting on a product, and so I have no choice but to say, speak up.
It would be nice to hear what they have to say, and I think we got a good gist of what Kangaroo Kenny was telling DarkZero. Unfortunately, he can't really wave the I was right flag because he told his teammates that Furia are bringing a ton of these drone operators, and for that reason, bring the Mira, bring some of these ops that aren't as affected by things like Flores. But they actually six-picked off of all of them. Furia repicked. They did have a Flores. They did have, I think, a Twitch or a Brava. They moved off of all those ops, so they're going to come in with different utility that DZ may not be as ready for, including the Deimos. This is going to go on for a track from NJR. He's trying to play that same position that Fleetbox did so well on, playing the smoke over by East Stairs. Again, it is not an easy position, so a lot on the shoulders of NJR to keep control of that east side of the map.
The question is going to be to me, who's playing inside of Office? That triple panel wall right now is being held by Panbazoo. So, I mean, at least you've got a significantly strong player here for backup, but I don't necessarily love the Boss G for this range. I mean, at this point in time, most of the vigils we tend to see are running the Boss G because it is a down to the chest at a certain range. The range that you're playing at, they're usually going to be in that exact parameter to get downed. What a day it's been for DarkZero. Things will not get any easier for them, even if they survive. Now it's NJR fighting back against the fire, fighting back against the death mark. He takes down Nade, all 9 kills on the Capital, now in the ground, and it's top east of JV92, baited in. Panbazoo good enough with 1. What did I say? It's an instant down. Not when you're hitting ahead, though. That's a kill. Felipox was lined up 2. The Kali of KZ in the dirt. NJR with yet another kill. Only 2 remain for Furia as DarkZero are marching their way on to a flawless round. It's all up to Herds, the hero of last round. How many does he get? If any at all. Some damage has been done to DarkZero, but all of this action has stopped here at top east. got a default cam up, he's got a black mirror, and NJR gets 3 kills. Pambazoo with 2, and it's a flawless win for DZ. They're still in this, but it's a long road back to being even with Furia.
Beautiful play from the duo. NJR and Pamba have been teaming together on DarkZero since midway through 2021 when Pamba joined the team. This squad has been so well coordinated, and that's what we're finally getting to see on Border. I haven't seen it in what feels like 4 or 5 hours since they played against that M80 squad at the start of the day. Now we're seeing that teamwork come back to life for DarkZero. The office extension, beautifully held. Of course, NJR with the SMG-11. Nate, a questionable opening death, upside down rappelling in through square. And that was the, wow, that was the defuse kit that he dropped as well from rappel. NJR, some insane shots with the SMG-11, and then Pamba with the Bosch G as well. I heard you doubting him, Parker. You can't doubt this man. From any range, he gets the job done with the slug shotgun. He will bring that right on back to play it once again. Pamba and NJR, they're on the same ops, and I would expect them to be playing similar positions as Bombsight moves just 1 floor below where it was previously. That was a masterclass in 2v2 teamwork and individual mechanics as NJR just put on a show for us. Unfortunately, it's not enough. They're gonna have to do that 3 more times and then win in overtime and then win a clubhouse. The road is still very long for DarkZero, but that was the first step.
I mean, all comebacks start with 1 round, right? Like, you need to get the ball rolling at some point. You got the ball rolling. Kangaroo Kenny's coaching did not necessarily apply to that round, but maybe DZ just felt a bit more comfortable, or Furia played themselves, frankly. I'm not sure. It'd be heartbreaking for DZ to fumble at this point as Pambazoo dies on that vigil. He was so integral in the previous round. He will not be able to stall for time. He will not be able to hold down this triple panel. There will be a part of this upstairs defense by DarkZero that has now been abandoned. They almost lose NJR as he engages in a 50-50 and misses his shots, but the advantage for Furia will last for a whole other 2 minutes.
I mean, NJR still holding his post. He's got Bolo and Break to play around, and Kobe rotated back into office. As I say that, though, Bolo goes down to KZ, and it's a 2-man ad.
Bolo's focus was on the door, not on the window. A good spread by Furia. There are some concerns if you move around the map in a way where you are not playing for trades. The problem becomes if somebody botches it, there's nobody there to help. JV92 eliminating NJR. This is bad news bears for DZ. Nafe with 1 immediately traded out, and Kobe will need to shoot better than he ever has in his life. Does he dare drop to go get Nafe? He's worried about what's at the door. Nafe might be playing as a drone to try to give information to Kobe. Oh boy, has this Furia team made some significant strides. They've got to feel pretty confident. Kobe looks for the drop. He gets punished for it. It's so routine for Furia. KZ with the final 2 kills. He set his team up beautifully. And Furia are guaranteed main stage here in Boston. They are the defending world champions. After all, they had a sluggish year after that, getting bounced in the quarterfinals of Manchester, not even making it to Montreal as they were not a top team in Brazil and then lost the last chance qualifiers. But here they are in the biggest event of the year, and they're one of the top upper bracket teams. A 2-0 for Furia. That'll wrap up our casting, but there's still a desk to talk about that match. We'll be back